Seattle City Council going back to square one as talks over the 2021 budget reach a boiling point.
I don't see leadership in the council. I just see a bunch of activists.
The budget backlash against the mayor's proposal and the concerns from community members that there isn't a plan B.
The countdown is on. Vice President Mike Pence and Kamala Harris just 12 hours away from their first and only debate. But there's already a fierce back and forth underway. The COVID-19 safety protocols now in the spotlight.
New rules for reopening.
We were fearful with winter coming. How are we going to survive losing that dining?
The restrictions getting relaxed across the state and what this means for your kids in particular.
The smiles. You can see them through the masks. Utter and complete domination.
The Seattle Storm are world champions for the fourth time. How you can get your hands on championship gear this morning. Gotta love it. It's already a jam-packed Wednesday morning for you. We're going to check in with Holly at the live desk coming up in just a moment.
But first, we want to give you a quick check of the forecast with meteorologist Kristen Clark.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, another morning of fog and low visibility coming up in the forecast. We'll have the hour-by-hour outlook on when this fog will clear for better visibility out there in the morning commute.
All right, we have another rough commute for you. If you're in the Federal Way area, northbound I-5 at South 200th Street, there was this collision blocking the HOV lane. But take a look at this. This is at South 216th Street. It's a parking lot. It is a very long slog. So far, we're seeing that backup northbound I-5 in the Federal Way area of at least 6.5 miles. It's taking you over an hour just to get between Federal Way and Seattle. You see all that red indicating the heavy traffic. We'll keep an eye on the drive times for you.
Well, Seattle City Council members are expected to go back to the drawing board after a heated hearing over next year's budget. KOMO's Lee Stoll is live with what dozens of people had to say. And you know what? Those council members got an earful, Lee.
Yeah, they really did. So we'll see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks. Of course, many of those comments pointed at SPD's budget, cutting it even further. The West Precinct here behind us. All of this happening as SPD is holding a news conference later on this afternoon to talk more about their new response program aimed at bringing down 911 response times and reimagining policing.
Seattle's City Council virtual budget meeting was overwhelmed with 4 hours of public comment. 150 people signed up to speak, many upset about Mayor Jenny Durkan's spending plan.
Her bogus $100 million investment into BIPOC communities is just a total shell game.
Most spoke to reduce SPD's budget and let communities decide how to spend the money. Some worry that will come at too great a cost for community safety.
We're just being led down a wrong path, and we've got activists running this city, and this is out of control.
Others are concerned about the $100 million promised to multicultural community groups. Mayor Durkan wants the money to come from a new tax on big business, but that money was originally marked for COVID relief and affordable housing.
The funds, the revenue, should not come from the Jumpstart tax.
Now, the next budget hearing is at the end of the month, and we do expect, based on everything that they heard yesterday, that council members will be spending the next couple of weeks working on some amendments. Back to you.
Well, these talks come as 70 SPD officers face layoffs in the coming weeks. However, that process still needs to be worked out with the Seattle Police Officers Guild and will not be completed until next month. Mayor Jenny Durkan already axed the city's navigation team, which is a group that provided outreach services to the homeless, along with cleaning up illegal camps. Council members voted last week to override the mayor's veto. That would have kept the navigation team, made up 10 police officers and 14 human service department outreach workers, intact until the end of the year.
Well, new overnight, a fire at a mobile home took the life of a man in Linwood. The fire broke out late last night at a home on 164th Street near Spruce Way. Firefighters tweeted out this photo from the scene. They say one man died, 2 other people escaped that burning home. When the fire crews did arrive, the place was fully engulfed. This morning, investigators will be back on site to try to determine what sparked that fire. The name of the man who died has not been released.
On the right side of your screen, you'll see a live look over Washington, D.C. at this hour, where it's just after 9 a.m. This morning, the number of COVID cases linked to the White House is climbing once again. It is now at 24. The latest, the president's top policy aide, Stephen Miller. Over at the Pentagon, most of the Joint Chiefs are in quarantine after being exposed to the Coast Guard's #2 officer who tested positive. The Pentagon insists this does not impact the military's readiness. This morning, doctors say President Trump is showing no new symptoms and continues to improve.
Time's now 6:04. Stocks appear to be rebounding this morning in overnight futures trading. This after the Dow dropped 375 points on Tuesday following President Trump's decision to put the brakes on pandemic stimulus talks. The president claiming on Twitter that House Democratic leaders want too much money for things not COVID related. He called on the GOP to put negotiations on hold until after the election and for the Senate to focus on the Supreme Court confirmation hearings. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi responded to the move, saying the White House is in complete disarray.
And at the live desk now, the president hasn't tweeted anything new on that topic this morning. He did tweet last night, though, that if he is sent a standalone bill for stimulus checks, those $1,200 checks would go out immediately. A live look at the White House to bring you now. The president tweeted that he is ready to sign that right now, and that has our futures in the green this morning. Airline stocks specifically are surging.
It is 6:05 right now. Vice President Mike Pence and Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris square off tonight in their first and only scheduled debate. The Biden campaign making safety a top priority on the debate stage in Utah, insisting that Harris be more than 12 feet away from Pence with plexiglass barriers in place. But Pence, the head of the White House coronavirus task force, does not think that barrier is necessary. Harris has been in Utah for a few days preparing. She told Hillary Clinton on her podcast where her focus will be tonight.
I guess the biggest thing, just to be candid with you, is to be prepared for what is, I think, very likely to be a series of untruths.
Vice President Pence says he is ready and welcomes the challenge.
And we're looking very much forward to the vice presidential debate. The stakes in this election have never been higher.
Tonight's face-off in Salt Lake City is one of the most highly anticipated VP debates in recent memory.
And Kelly, let's take you live to Salt Lake City this morning, where that vice presidential debate will be held. A live look to bring you at Kingsbury Hall on the University of Utah campus. Another change we could expect tonight: anyone in that small audience who refuses to wear a mask will be asked to leave. Now, the health decisions made for tonight's debate will hang over the two future presidential debates, one in Miami on October 15th and another in Nashville on October 22nd. While the debate will likely cover a range of topics, the virus will be at the forefront tonight.
And Governor Jay Inslee and Republican challenger Lauren Kopel face off tonight. It's the only scheduled gubernatorial debate is set for tonight at 8 o'clock, right after the vice presidential debate. You can watch it right here on KOMO and online at KOMOnews.com to see their full interviews right now from our Beyond the Podium series. Just go to KOMOnews.com/podium. Now, the reopening rules in effect across the state are changing everything from how you can eat to buying a house.
Well, the governor has loosened the rules on many activities. KOMO's Theron Zahn joins us live in Seattle with the changes you'll want to know about. Theron?
For people who own businesses like restaurants and wedding catering companies, they're very happy to hear about the changes in the rules. It could be the difference between continuing to hang on or going out of business.
The governor has given the green light to loosen restrictions on some activities and open up others for the first time since the pandemic shutdown began. All 39 counties will stay in their current reopening phases, but the new guidelines allow for more activities in those phases. Restaurants now have more leeway for indoor dining. The number of people allowed to sit at restaurant tables is going up to 6 in Phase 2 and 8 in Phase 3. You can also eat indoors with people outside your household. The cutoff to sell alcohol has been extended from 10 to 11 p.m.
To be able to stay another hour, especially on the weekends when people want to just open up a little more, it's going to help business, bottom line.
Wedding receptions in Phase 3 counties can now have up to 50 people, but the alcohol service requirements are the same as restaurants. Movie theaters in Phase 2 counties can open up at 25% capacity. In Phase 3, it's 50%. Masks are still required while you watch the movie. And real estate agents can once again hold open houses, but the number of people who can be in the home at one time is subject to the gathering size limits in the county where the home is located. Again, this is just a part of the reopening procedures here. Now, coming up at 6:30, I'm going to break down the new rules regarding youth sports, libraries, and pools. There's some really big changes.
All right, we'll check back in there, and let's get to meteorologist Kristen Clark right now with our weather quickcast. We have kind of this looming system getting ready to roll in on us, Kristen.
Yes, the weather has been super quiet, of course, the past couple of days. That all changes later on this week as we welcome back rain to western Washington. For now, though, as quiet as conditions have been, that has allowed the fog to develop each and every morning. And this is Bellingham, an area that has the lowest visibility if you're traveling, say, southbound on I-5, even into the Everett area. That's where the visibility is now currently being reported less than a quarter of a mile. So very dense fog in parts of the northwest interior, even in Puyallup, a spot reporting less than a half-mile visibility at the current moment. So up and down the I-5 corridor, you will be encountering low clouds and fog at times that will be very slow to clear throughout the rest of the morning commute. Now, this is the hour-by-hour forecast. We're not expecting full clearing until maybe the lunch hour. It's around 10, 11 o'clock. They will likely see that sun emerge once again to a mostly sunny afternoon. And today will be a dry day, really the last dry day that we will see for the next few ahead. 71 in Shelton, a few more 70s left to go for the southwest interior. Should see 67 in Seattle. But yeah, our dry days are certainly numbered, and we'll talk about this upcoming storm in the full forecast.
In a year we will never forget, the Seattle Storm of the team we will always remember. They are your 2020 WNBA champions.
Well, let that confetti fall. The Seattle Storm bringing home the franchise's fourth WNBA title. The Storm swept the Las Vegas Aces last night, winning Game 3 by 33 points to capture the crown. And they did it playing the season in a bubble in Florida for 97 days, with games almost every other day. Guard Sue Bird, in her 19th year with the team, talking about winning that fourth championship.
I think I'm having this in shock moment, because it doesn't really feel real that we just won and that I was able to contribute in the way that I did. But it is 100% something that, when it's all said and done, I will be incredibly proud of.
As we all should be. The Storm were led by WNBA Finals MVP Breanna Stewart, who scored 26 points in last night's game. Just dominant. Overnight, Seattle Storm championship T-shirts started rolling off the printers. Simply Seattle sharing this video of the four-time world champs T-shirt. They will be available this morning at the downtown store on First Avenue and online. I mean, 4 championships. This has got to be the best sports team we've ever had in Seattle.
Not 1, not 2, not 3.
Nope.
How about 4 titles?
Running out of fingers.
Exactly.
Gotta love it. Right. It is 6:12 right now. It could be decision day for an infamous choking point in Seattle.
Yeah, you're looking live over the West Seattle Bridge. The meeting happening just hours from now that could determine if this bridge that's been shut down for months will be repaired or reduced to rubble.
But first, new hope in a health battle hitting close to home for the Cohen News family. The good news centering around this little guy right here and his battle with cancer, and how you can still help local families in the fight of their lives. That's coming up next.